Guys, this is me, Scott Adams, here with my deck profile for January 2015 zombies. I do a little bit of a zombie turbo deck, and this is the build. This is post Secrets of Evolution, so let's jump right into it. First, we have one Dark Arm Dragon, boss monster of the deck, pretty self-explanatory. 3 Zombie Master. This card's pretty solid for what it can do. It's pretty much all around a graveyard tutor monster, which I really love. And zombies really need this. You have to run this at 3, or at least at 2 in my opinion. 3 Mizuki, can't go without 3. Makes your graveyard pretty live and makes your graveyard more or less essentially a hand. 2 Goblin Zombie, Search. It's pretty good as a floater. Love under attack. If it does attack and it doesn't inflict down damage, your opponent mills, though that isn't really good in this format right now at the moment. It's still pretty useful against any other deck that is not tier 1. 2 Plague. Now, a lot of people will go ahead and argue me down and say 3 Plague is mandatory, in my opinion. I don't see the point of running 3 Plague because I think 2 just gets the job done. 3rd is just basically screaming for consistency, and this deck's pretty consistent with 2 already in it, in my opinion. So, 2 Plague for, Mizuki sinks. Next card, that zombies actually just got 3 Uni Zombie. This card's hella good. So, what this card does is essentially a Dark Grepher for zombies, if I explain it right. Well, for the most part, except it can't special summon, but 2 effects that it has. Pitch a card from your hand, up is level by 1. Up a card on the field is level by 1. And if you also pick a monster on the field, up is level by 1, and mill a zombie to the graveyard. But if you use the mill effect, no monsters can attack except for zombie types. But this is really good for establishing first turn, so don't be discouraged by the mill and no attack clause, unless you know in your build you want to run the zombie build. But I don't do that in this build, and I don't feel the need to. But it's good for first turn, hella good for third turn. Also, did I mention, it's a level 3, and it's a tuner, so zombies cannot play level 7s. Now we don't need Telezombie anymore, for the most part. Now, Mathematician, 2 of it. Now, I know a lot of people will go like, well, how come you don't run 3 Mathematician? I like it at 2. I tested it at 3. I don't hate it at 3. It's not a bad card at 3. It's really good at 3 for consistency. But for the most part, your zombie engine should be your main focus. The main things of the zombie engine, what it does, but this does its job pretty much of doing it. This card's pretty much more or less similar to this, except it has floor properties, but it's not a tuner, and it's Earth. But it's pretty good for just, getting any one of, get this or this to the graveyard. Or maybe a zombie. Maybe. But either you're going to get this, or this to the graveyard. Maybe sometimes this, but rarely ever. But really these 2 are your main focus with this card. Next, 3 Malicious. It wouldn't be zombies without it. One thing I do like about this card, what a lot of people will go like, well, how come you run it? Thing I like about it is it's pretty good for synchro because we do play builds in here, so level 8s are pretty fun. But long and behold, people think zombies, all they do is just spam drop 8s. They could do that back in the day, but that is their main focus now. But zombies have always been, always will be a synchro 6 deck, even though we don't do that now. But Malicious gets us to the Beals, drops our boss monster Beals. Now this card that's gonna be weird here. A lot of people are gonna be like, whoa, what? 2 Calcap. Now the reason why I run this in here is because simple tech. I like this because zombies have a main issue, and anybody that's played zombies will know this. Has hand consistency problems, as in like you can't keep hand. You have to invest hand. You have to go and invest hand into like grave and field properties, and most of the time you convert your grave to field, and sometimes your grave counts as a second hand, but only if you build it and establish it up right. With Calcap though, since we have discard text like Zombie Master, Uni Zombie, and somewhat Mathematician, this mitigates it basically to help us out with its hand establishment. Basically, you can fight back with hand, and it's more or less similar to like a hand trap. And the way how I use it is for secondary effect of when it's sent to the graveyard, you can bounce back a spell trap. Now, a lot of people may go like, well, why do you do that? Well, it's pretty good. I don't use it for the main utility of drop a Burning Abyss is special, because a lot of people may go like, well, how can you just run Burning Abyss? I don't hate the deck, but it's not my kind of playing style. It kind of is, but I just don't really feel like playing it. Next off, 2 Maxi, because special summon still a thing, so it's pretty useful. Now that was monsters. I run 23. Kind of a really odd number for zombies, but hey, my build. Next card, Lure. Play 1. You only have it at 1. This sucker will go up to 2 or 3, something like that. But hey, 1's all we really need anyway. 3 upstart. A lot of people are gonna say opening or whatever. I just play it, whatever. 3 MST. Essential need for the format. I don't care what anybody says. You don't play it 3 MST, you're really fucking stupid unless your deck has innate MSTs, which, unless your name's Harpies, I'm gonna see how that works. Do play Snatch Steal. A lot of people may go like, it's kind of staple level now. Pretty good. Also makes waste of MST. You can bait MSTs with it, so it's pretty nice and nifty. That's what I use it here for, just to bait MSTs. If I can get Snatch off, then hey, it works. Soul Charge. I haven't really like used the card like a lot, but for the times I have used it, which for the most part like 2 or 3 times, it's worked. But mostly you could see myself taking this card out. A lot of people may argue you shouldn't take this card out, and I more or less agree with these people because the times I have used it have saved my butt. But more often than not, I have never really ever came to use this card for establishing comeback fields or whatever for the most part. I just mainly use it to build up more synchro advantage whenever I already use this card already, so I can't really attack unless it's a zombie, so why not just go all in and just say fuck the attacking. Foolish, run 1. This card's not at 2 or 3. This card probably never go up to 2 or 3, and I'm fine with that. Burial, 1 card I really wish it would at least go up to 2, is a prime example why zombies are still pretty good. It allows you to recycle mainly this card. You only really use it for this card and maybe sometimes this card. Only for few recyclement. You'll rarely ever use it for this unless you run that Gusto Emerald or any recycled tech in your deck. But unfortunately, I do not. So that's me. Do I hate this card? Hell no. This card's really good in borderline staple in zombies. And it's pretty solid by just putting 3 monsters that are banished back in the graveyard. So I really love it. Now we're on the traps. Low trap count. Oh, spells were 11, by the way. Low trap count. And even though it's not really a lot, but hey, it's whatever. 3 breakthrough. Breakthrough solid this format. I don't run Veiler for obvious reasons. This card is a double Dutch secondary card, so you can activate 1 during opponent, and then 1 during like a turn where you need to go off and stuff like that. A lot of people might go like, oh, why didn't you just run Veiler along with it? I could, but I don't really like Veiler that much. I like Breakthrough. When Breakthrough was a card, I love it, and I still run it up to this day. And 3 Phoenix. Phoenix has always been the nuts. I always ran this card in my zombies, no matter what. And I'm so glad that it's that a lot of people are seeing how good and useful this card is again, and I like it a lot. Also combos with this a lot too, because you can just bounce a monster, bounce spell trap, back, like go. So there's the reason why I love Phoenix. That is it for main deck. 6 traps. That is a 40 card main deck. Now for the extra deck, I run 15 cards. I'm not going to do side deck only because, hey, you figure it out. 1 Revive King, 1 Yugioh for obvious reasons. 2 Black Rose, because, hey, we can make level 7s. This card's so nuts. Plus, it gets rid of problem cards. It may not be a good thing in this format, but hey, if you're pushing for game, why not? Level 8s, we run Thought Ruler, we run Crimson Blitter, we run 2 BOs. I don't see any more useful utility for 8s besides. I know a lot of people run Jewel Red Dragon in their builds and stuff like that. I have no problem against it, but it's not like I really need to push for offense. Again, I could just go into this now, so hey, why not? If anything else, though, I might take out one of these for a Yazi. The Yangzing, that's pretty much a level 726. And when it's monsters on the field, can't be targeted. That card's really good. But so far, I had loving the 2 Black Rose. So, BOs, staple monster, deals with problem cards. Like, deals with somewhat should-alls, really, mostly. Puts you back in the game, not really. Leo, good level 10 beater, 31. Enough said. Those are 9 synchros, and last but not least, it exceeds. I play Gaga Cowboy. A lot of people don't see why. Cowboy still wins games, guys. Zombies can drop rank 4s like nobody else's business, which is why I like it. But hey, it's whatever. Best Dweller, tech for certain matches. Volatile Chain. I've been opting to run 2, but I like it at 1, mainly because, these cards really do what this card can do. This is just to more or less try to get this card to the graveyard if it's already isn't in the graveyard, because everything else what zombies have for problems instead of running Armageddon Knight and Dark Refer were to get this card and get this card to the grave. Now you just only have to worry about at least getting this card, and more or less you could do OTKs if I do decide to put another one in. Castiel, because this card's pretty solid, gives our problem cards. I do like Dark Rebellion. Dark Rebellion can run over a lot of stuff. It helped me run over Apocalypse one time. This card's really like a really useful utility card. People should actually run this like whenever this format passes over with Burning Abyss and Shaddolls and stuff. And last but not least, Deltaros. A lot of people are going to be like, oh, how come you run Deltaros? Pretty simple, actually. I mainly use it for its main effect of, like, basically, as long as it has a Seaman, so you can't negate normal specials. Like, you can't interrupt. You can't activate anything. You can't negate them. So, basically, as long as I summon him on the field, you didn't activate Vanities. You're going to have to activate Vanities more or less after summon, or anything else like a Bottomless or whatever. You know, Bottomless isn't really played, or, you know, Phoenix or whatever. But, hey, still pretty useful. Plus, I get bait out opponent activations, and even though they shouldn't really activate them, then it's like, oh, okay, good. I know what the pop with his other effects, so I get 2 free pops, unless I want to get the third off. And that's the deck. It's pretty useful. I've been running it on Dev Pro and DN for like a good minute. It's pretty solid for what it does, and I really love it. I hope a lot of people just go back to just playing what they love and making sure, like, you know, whatever they love, getting back in the game. It's pretty fun, all this other stuff. Sky Alm's here, and I am done.